I won't let you down, Miss Ida.
I'm sure.
Okay, so this episode takes off immediately following the last one, happening one day after, but when Luce goes to sleep, her shirt was white, and when she wakes up in the morning, her shirt is now grey.
It wasn't a dream!
Luce is so ecstatic about the fact that what happened in the first episode wasn't a dream. This is totally realistic. Imagine having a fever dream that was so intense that you concocted every single event that we saw in A Lying Witch and a Warden. I wouldn't believe it. I'd hope that you wouldn't believe it either. And if I was waking up from something like that, I would definitely have the same reaction upon realizing that it was totally real.
It wasn't a dream!
These first two episodes are meant to happen back to back, so Luce must be a really heavy sleeper because she didn't hear what was probably Ida changing all of this stuff around. We don't see Luce do it. She was out like a light at the end of last episode, yet still her room completely changes. These books are new, this dog bed is new, this table wasn't here before, and these boxes are completely gone. While I like the thought that Ida snuck in and did all of this for Luce while she was sleeping, I'm going to chalk this up to production inconsistency.
Good morning, terrifying fantasy world!
Good morning!
Who is this monster demon, and how can they be fine living in the sea that is 100 degrees boiling all the time? Gigantic sea monster or not, this feels like it's straying away from what the Owl House makes canon, unless you count the Selkie-Domus from Season 2. We never see another sea monster throughout the show. What a shame, more sea monsters could have been a cool narrative if they went that way.
I am not your cutie pie!
Yes, you are!
I know.
King has just accepted that Luce will treat him this way for the rest of his life. Stand up for yourself, King.
Hi, Luce! I'm just wishing you a good morning!
Why is Luce so frightened of Hootie in this scene? Like, I get he was poking his nose around in the bathroom, but does a good morning really deserve a chop to the face? Luce knows who Hootie is. He's not a stranger anymore.
Please have witchy clothes.
Yes!
So Ida took the potions track while she was at Hexside, and we know that she's dang good at making potions. But what makes me wonder is, what are these? Aside from the curse potion, we barely, if ever, see Ida brewing potions herself. These unknown potions could have totally come in handy multiple times, but instead we'll never know what they can do. Okay, so I'm not going to play the audio for copyright reasons, but hey, we finally have an intro, baby! And oh hell, this intro kicks ass, it feels perfect for this type of show.
Remember me?
It's pretty common throughout the show, but the translations for each episode's title can be pretty wacky in other countries. For example, in English, this episode is called Witches Before Wizards, but in Spanish, it's Wherever a Witch Is, a Wizard Can Remove, while in Germany, it's simply just The Chosen One.
We freed the oppressed and defeated the evil warden together? Yesterday?
Kid, lay off the details.
Are you kidding me? After everything that happened in the first episode, you're telling me that Ida still doesn't remember who Luce is? Bruh, I'm gonna have to take back my Ida cares about Luce statement because she clearly still doesn't.
And defeated the evil warden together? Yesterday?
Snake imagery, I think? I don't know, it kinda looks like a snake, and if it is, I guess witches canonically eat snakes now. Have fun with that.
Also, you're wrapped in a bathrobe and wearing the dirtiest traffic cone I've ever seen.
If this is the case, why does Ida store multiple traffic cones in her closet? What's the purpose of that? And how does Ida know what a traffic cone is? They don't have cars in the boiling aisles, and we only ever see a motorcycle and some parade floats as potential traffic, so why store so many traffic cones? You don't even know what they're used for. When King laughs at Luce, the eyeballs in his food close like they're laughing along with him. That's pretty neat detailing.
Magic staff, come to me!
This is a reference to Marvel's Thor Ragnarok.
On weekends, I offer rare human treasures that Owlbert drags over from your side of the realm.
I shall smite my enemies! Ages 6 to 11.
In this scene where Ida's talking to Luce, there is a single frame animation error where Luce's eyes are missing.
Snake oil.
No one wants an unoiled snake.
Snake oil is a pretty common phrase meaning something that is either deceptive or untruthful. It's basically a scam, and as far as characters go, it's right up Ida's alley.
I won't let you down, Miss Ida.
I'm sure.
They play Luce off here as being a little bit naive and a little bit stupid. From what we've seen of Luce so far, that's not too far off. This is basically how she was introduced in episode 1, and they rectify that by the end of this episode. Luce learns a lot following this and has decent character development, and I'm all for it.
Remember, never befriend a man in sandals and always measure twice, cut once. Good luck!
Excuse me? Is Ida the head of a drug empire? What kind of advice was that? I know she's a potions track major, but still, surely you could say anything else to Luce and not have it sound so sus?
Be back by nightfall or risk mortal peril.
Have a nice trip!
I wonder if this line had a big impact on Luce, because following this, she basically never goes out alone at night. Hey look, it's the Go Willow guy, and down there we have Eileen, and here is the Green Demon from Once Upon a Swap. And there's also these two background characters, which I swear I've seen appear in other episodes too, but I just can't for the life of me remember where.
I've only seen places like this in my dreams. It's incredible! And I'm the only human here?
Haven't seen any others.
Come to think of it, Luce is the only known human in the Boiling Isles. The last known human was Philip, who was there more than 400 years ago, so any generation that knew Philip would have died by now. Yikes, my dude. No one who is currently alive has ever met or even seen a human. Humans are basically long-lost mythical creatures, like how we currently view witches in real life. Whether for good or for bad, Luce should be something akin to a local celebrity. She should be getting swarmed right now, but everyone's just sort of leaving her alone. These pumpkin-looking things are referred to as gourd beast eggs. For anyone wanting to join the plant track, gourd is the family of plants that pumpkins are a part of. There's some wordplay for you. That doorbell has a lot of suction power. Whoever lives in this house, you better feed that thing because it now has a taste of human flesh.
Apparently, it just makes everyone want to scream at me or eat me.
Where did that bug demon come from? Because now it also has a taste of human flesh. Sheesh, Luce, don't pull a Caleb. Start watching your back.
Big houses always belong to big whack jobs. Let's kick the package inside and get out of here.
You know what? King has a good sense of security, probably coming from many deliveries gone wrong. You should listen to him, Luce.
Hello?
Hey, wait!
When Luce rings the doorbell, the doors open towards them in an outwards direction, but in the following scene, the doors are facing inwards instead. Oh hey, this wizard looks exactly like the wizard in your Azura book. How suspicious.
Magical wizard!
A weird old man in Jim Jams.
I was in my oscillarium.
Bro, he is swift. He got from the top of the staircase to right in front of Luce in like a second. Sign this guy up for the Olympics or something.
Please, won't you join me for tea?
This wizard is a fake. He's actually a demon called Adagas who's meant to be able to imitate characters on the end of his tentacles or something. So can someone tell me what this is? Because this looks incredibly octopus-like. Was this foreshadowing, or was this meant to be like a physical representation of what Luce is about to face up against? Also, the front cover of this book is someone crossing their fingers, suggesting that the wizard is hoping to deceive someone, or has at least been reading up on it.
I might have just the thing.
These towns are called Felinia and Pixie Village, which are inhabited by, you guessed it, felines and pixies. But in saying that, isn't Adagas based in Bonesborough, so why does the magical map trail start in Felinia? Would Luce even know how to get there?
So, King, what kind of chosen one should I be?
King carves a self-portrait into the door frame. Either that, or this is meant to be Godzilla.
Should I be full of optimism and goodness, like the good witch Azura? Or should I be like a bad girl chosen one with black nail polish and a mysteriously withdrawn attitude?
What was that soundbite that played when Luce changed attitudes? It feels a little bit out of place, like some cue into a disaster waiting to happen.
Or should I be like a bad girl chosen one with black nail polish and a mysteriously withdrawn attitude? I act like I don't care, but I secretly do.
Luce hasn't even met her yet, but in that scene, she perfectly describes the same look and character traits as Amity. I don't want to read too deep into this early into the show, but Luce definitely parallels the good chosen one, while Amity parallels the bad.
Ida, tell Luz how dumb wizards are.
Ugh, wizards are the worst. Never trust a man in casual drapery.
So this show establishes witches as anyone who is witch-like, who can cast magic. Gender doesn't really matter here. Anyone is a witch. So, is the term wizard exclusive to weirdos who dress in casual drapery? Because be assured that this is the only mention of wizards living in the Boiling Isles, sandals and all.
Your wizard client told Luce she was a chosen one.
Wait, Luce? This is so rude. King and Eda have to remember that Luce is still new to the Boiling Isles and she's still trying to figure out everything from her own experience. Making fun of her now for believing in wizardry is the last thing you want to do if you want Luce to integrate into your household. Shut your mouths.
The path will only appear to the worthy. That's why Eda couldn't see it. But am I really worthy? I'll never know unless I try.
We know this whole thing is a scam and that at this point Luce has definitely fallen for the trap, but what has Luce done that convinces her that she's really worthy of a quest like this? All we've seen her do so far is terrify a couple of students back on Earth, help a wanted criminal break into prison, and beat up a prison guard who was just trying to do his job. I know Luce is following her heart and trying to do good by her own standards, but if this quest was real and I was a magical wizard granting out magical quests, I would not deem Luce as worthy. I do like how this plays into Luce's character traits though. She's still overly optimistic and has dreams of being something greater than what she currently is. But hey, the results of this quest will lead to some well-deserved character development, with this quest being the first nail in the coffin and bringing her character a little closer to reality.
You said that wizard was one of my clients?
Yes, now go away.
I don't know him that well, and I don't trust this itch he's scratching in the human.
If Eda doesn't trust wizards as much as she's led us to believe, then why have a wizard on as a client? Because by the way she talks, she's run into trouble with wizards many times before. Surely she'd be better off without. Also, Eda has a framed picture of what looks like Vidimir on her wall, with Vidimir being the current head witch of the potions track. It makes sense as Eda is shown to be on the potions track when she was younger, and hey, that's some nice detailing.
Oh, nuts! Hootie, where'd she go?
How did Luce get from the roof to the ground without breaking an arm or a leg or anything at all? Because dang, that is a long way down.
Hoot hoot! If you want the answer that you seek, solve my riddle within a week! Ow! Okay!
Okay, so it's shown here that Hootie can physically feel the damage that Eda causes to the wall, which suggests that Hootie is not just living inside the front door, but he's also living in all of the interior spaces of the wall as well. Does this mean that Hootie can feel what happens inside the owl house? Every footstep, every closing door, every flushing toilet? I have a lot of questions. Again, I said this last episode, but Bonesborough is meant to be located on the arm of the Titans, so if we're at the city limits, what are these bones meant to be? Because they're definitely not arm bones.
I wonder if I made the right choice by coming here. Wow.
I have now just realised that the entire main colour palette for the Land of the Boiling Isles and for many of the buildings within it is made primarily of red, orange, white, pink, blue and purple. Those are the same colours that are used in the bi and the lesbian flags. This entire show was conceptualised as being blatantly hinting at a potential relationship like lumity since day one. And I hadn't noticed this. This just blew my mind.
The Celestial staff should have picked me, Nevereth Bladestrife, teen prince of Angstmore.
Yes, I did make the right choice.
A lot of people probably reacted to that line with a whole lot of cringe, but we need to remember Luce is meant to be 14 years old. She's gonna suck this up hook, line and sinker. Also, this is the only male character in the show that Luce is shown to be smitten with, unless you want to count that one time that Edric complimented her making her blush, but I don't. Please don't ship them.
Whoa, it wasn't like this before.
The first time we see the fake version of the castle, it has 5 watchtowers, but this time it only has 4. You could say that the 5th one completely collapsed, which is why you can't see it here, but based on how much relative damage the other towers have, I don't believe it. When Luce and King were first delivering packages, they had to walk down a flight of stairs to get to the landing, but here that flight of stairs is completely gone.
Nevereth.
Lady Luce, do you think love can bloom on the battlefield?
Ooh, this quest is questing in all the right ways.
Luce is wearing this crush in her sleeve, and she's not holding back about it. If Nevereth was a real character and not some squid demon, he would know However, when she starts crushing on Amity later on in Season 2, she does everything in her power to hide it from her, basically keeping it a secret. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but I have just one question. With Amity, was Luce afraid of coming out? I'll leave that up to you lot to discuss.
Are you sure she came here?
Can't mistake her smell. Like lemons and young, naive confidence.
This line cracked a smile, but why does Luce smell like lemons? Is that meant to be a reference to Ida and King on how they feel sour about this quest? Because Luce sure isn't.
For you, chosen one.
Thank you.
Stop accepting gifts from strangers, Luce. This is gonna come back and bite you in the ass.
Thank you for inviting me to your feast, Princess.
I forgot to mention it last episode, but every episode has a secret code hidden in it somewhere. For this episode, it's here on the rock, and it translates into witches. For consistency's sake, here's the code from episode 1, which translates into 2. All the codes are altered spellings of the words that they're meant to be referencing, but it's not too hard to piece together.
You have all been so kind and thoughtful. I hope this quest never ends.
How is Luce not becoming suspicious that everyone she meets on her quest is so eager to follow her and help her out? Like, red flags should be poppin'. My god, it's lucky you haven't been kidnapped.
I knew this world wasn't all gloom and doom like Ida and King said. There is wonder here, and I think I came here for a reason.
If I got stuck in the demon realm for 2 days now, I would absolutely trust the people who have lived there their entire lives and not just my own personal thoughts.
If you can think of a better plan, I'd love to hear it. Hey, faster, you!
In these first 2 episodes, Ida is shown to be quite abusive towards Albert. We've seen her slap him at least 4 or 5 times now, and also talk down to him in episode 1. Like, Albert, my bird, are you just going to put up with that abuse?
I'm no wizard, and you're no chosen one. I've tricked you.
What?
Ah, so that explains why all the characters she meets have been following her on her quest. They can't get too far apart if they're all being puppeteered.
No! Betrayed by my own cool accessories.
And that's why you don't accept gifts from strangers, Luce.
Does everybody have a beef with Ida here?
You know, it's funny that Luce says this because it's absolutely true. There's this dude, the puppeteer, there's Lilith, Tibbles, the Emperor, the bartender because she never pays her tab, Warden Wrath, Principal Bump, Principal Faust, Rain, at least when they first reconnect, all of the other coven heads aside from Darius and Eberwolf, Kikimora, the merchant from Sense and Insensitivity, Hunter when he's the Golden Guard. Basically, any adult character that she spends time with has some sort of beef with her.
I have you now.
When Ida gets grabbed by Adagast, she drops her staff, but when she's set free in this scene, the staff is magically back in her hands again.
I believed you, Magic Man. Now feel my wrath!
Luce, that's like a $2 plastic sword. How are you stabbing anything with that?
Well, that's the last time I take an outside referral. Oh, did you want some of that?
Okay, we just had a rather disgusting on-screen death. Do you do that a lot, Ida?
Okay, you can look.
Whoa.
The bones of the Isles.
By God, you've done it, the Owl House. Back-to-back episodes with similarly beautiful shots, and hey, this is the first time we get to see the Titan in its entirety. Also, every time I talk about Bonesborough, it's meant to be located here, on the arm of the Titan, behind the part that is obscured by the knee. You can also see this chest cavity, which is where the Emperor's castle is located, and down here is this town. I have no idea what this is. I'm just going to name it Titan's Arse Town.
Look, kid, everyone wants to believe they're chosen. But if we all waited around for a prophecy to make us special, we'd die waiting. And that's why you need to choose yourself.
That's actually a really solid message to give not just to kids, but to people of all ages. Basically, don't wait for life to happen, make life happen for you. A+.
Does that mean you'll give me a magic staff of my own?
Not yet, but someday.
Someday never came, at least not in the way described here. Luce is allowed to use Albert sometimes though. This is the last episode to show Willow sporting the Abomination track colours in the end credit scene. From here on out, she's sporting green, the plant track colours. Oh yeah, in saying that, I should mention that the Owl House will always change the end credit scene to keep up to date with plot development in the show, which is a minor touch, but I think it's really cool.